good morning. Okay. Welcome. Sunday morning. Live stream, like the good old days. Like the good old days. Got an interesting race lined up, which is a stage 5 epic race in Tour de Zwift, and I'm probably gonna have nightmares after it, after doing it yesterday as well. So let's see how it goes down. I've got something else lined up after this as well, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it yet. A time trial. Keep me legs turning. Oh, nice, Josh. I've seen the Tour Down Under results and what have you. Everything's set? Yeah. This could be a tasty one for sure. Yeah, I've seen that, yeah. Well, it's not the Tour of Britain, is it? It's Sweet Spot. It just keeps getting worse, unfortunately. Keeps getting worse. And, you know, it's strange when you see, like, the Tour Down Under and you see 3 British guys up there in the top 10. And, yeah. It's absolutely... That's mad. If you don't turn pro at like 18, it's like... It used to be if you didn't turn pro by the time you were 23, but now it's like... I don't know. There's not enough now in the UK to be able to say, here's the blueprint to success. Here's the blueprint to move forward. Yeah, National Series looks good. Yeah. That's the thing. You need the big races then on top of that. You know, like France has a great elite racing scene, and then it obviously has the bigger races on top, like the Tour of Normandy, Tour of the Alps, all these races. Good morning, Paul. How's things? I've just signed up to Discovery Plus, actually. I didn't want to, but yeah, and you got to make the most of it while you're there as well. Like, yeah, I'm glad I started this YouTube channel almost when I was a pro, because I've got that to look back on. But it was also the stepping stone into being able to do other things, you know. So yeah, you got to make the most of it while you're there. Success doesn't last, etc., etc. Well, that, and obviously having an agent, or at least like having the contacts there already, Josh, from his time at what was Lotto Soudal, you know. Let's see how my legs react this morning. Oh yeah, I know what you mean, Josh. Yeah, Nikki's in you. Me and Nikki go back a way. In fact, I don't think I've raced with Nikki for years. Crazy. Swiss lightweight. Swiss climber. The hat is shocking. I can't stand the kit either, I'm not gonna lie. The jersey. As someone said, who said yesterday on the live show, I think it looked like SpongeBob. Like someone had designed it from SpongeBob. Each to their own, but for a start, I don't like that colour green. I'm not keen on it. Well, that's just me. Hey, careful what you're saying, Esmond. They might be listening. I don't need my towel yet. Yeah. The claw. You saved our lives. We are eternally grateful. That one. Oh, that made you laugh on a Sunday morning. Toy Story 4, that's the latest one. That's a bit creepy, that one. You know, with the old antique shop with the doll. It's a bit weird, I thought. I don't know if it's I don't know if it appeals to the same audience as Toy Story 1, 2 and 3. Is it? You can't have heard that many, Josh. Yeah, true that. Ah, interesting now. Okay, gonna try and stay with the front there. See if I can manage it. It's gonna be hard. Okay. So far, so good. Where do I use this feather? There's probably a Oh, when's this ending? Oh no. Cry. Oh, I get my head kicked in. Oh, oh my word. Oh. Oh. Oh my word. Oh. Oh. Absolutely horrific. Oh. Oh. Oh, flip the neck. Yeah, for sure, John. Oh my word. Oh. I know my Zwift FTP is set probably about 10 or 20 watts higher than it should be, so the power graph at the bottom is not an accurate representation at all. It's more like that was more like all red. You could tell I was starting to really struggle there in that last couple of minutes. You could see how erratic the graph is, rather than like a bit of a more controlled, like responding to attacks in a controlled way. Gel. Oh. Really big news coming this week from Tickr, by the way. Yeah, I'm not surprised, John. It was very, well, that was VO2 max. I mean, technically the effort wasn't, like, the power wasn't VO2 max, but there's a prime example there of, if you go deep enough, it's VO2 max. Like, I was gasping for oxygen, and my breathing, I could hear it myself. Like, my breathing was like almost like a wheeze. This is what Ed has for breakfast. No, I don't think so. Not right now, anyway. Ah, nice one. That's cool to hear. That's really cool to hear. Sometimes I wonder if I should, so I don't always think, oh, I should definitely live stream this. But I sometimes think, like, there's moments where maybe I'm doing like a 4-hour ride indoors and I don't really want to do it. So one way to do it is to live stream it, and then I'm like, okay, now I have to do it. But also, just as you just said there, like, I feel like if I don't want to do it and I'm doing it, and you get inspired by watching me doing it, then you'd be like, right, I definitely need to get on a bike today, if Ed's doing that. Hey, Teppo. How are you, sir? Ewan, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, Nicky's here, that's right, yeah. Really, John? You rarely see, but I think everybody has a different. Everyone has a different pain face. Everyone has a different tolerance as well. Remember, like, I would definitely say that riding my bike for 15 years has helped me go really deep. Oh, 12 hours sleep. I had 7.5 hours sleep last night. I woke up naturally though, and also I was told by my ultra human ring that I was ready for today. So yeah. I mean, I certainly went deep on that last climb, so maybe I am ready for today. It is indeed myself. It's a strong feel to think, yeah. Yeah, I'll be lucky if I manage to hang on the next time up the climb. I mean, who knows? Someone might decide to go solo on this section, you know, through the city, through the town. Because knowing that we have a big climber course at the end, and they can't keep up, but it's certainly less punchy the next time up the climb. Less of a. There's still hard bits, of course, but it's slightly more controlled, isn't it? I mean, we did enough of it yesterday, so we did 4 reps. We did 4 laps. That was the race we did yesterday, guys. Where we went up the way we've just come down. We did that 4 times yesterday. It was a good 4 by 20 minutes nearly. 4 by 20 minute at just below threshold. With a little surge in the last rep. It was good. I think I'm looking back later and I had some good steady power. It was about 310 watts per rep, which is more than what I've been doing recently outdoors. I've been doing like a couple of long tempo blocks outdoors recently. At like 45 minutes an hour at like 270 watts, so to be able to do then 4 by 20 yesterday at 310, you know, there's a sign there of of a progression, so that's good. Although yesterday would have definitely, you know, hurt me a little bit, but saying that, obviously my metrics were telling me I was good to go today, so. No, I don't think we finished at the top. I think my ring puts me off, my metrics. No, because I tend to look at it at the end of the day. So I just use the data as like a rolling metric that I just monitor. I'd look at it at the end of the day. So I don't look at it to guide my training generally. Unless something feels a little bit off. Like if I feel, I don't know, like I feel like I'm coming down with something. Do you know what I mean? Blimey. I mean, Aubrey was a rare breed, wasn't he? 100%. Sander, you'll find all you need on Facebook, no doubt. So we're going to do the reverse leg snapper. Oh yeah, it's definitely easier. It's longer, but it's shallower, isn't it? Although I would say the run into it is a little bit harder. You've got those little, you got that little bump before it. It's all relative, isn't it? Yes, next time round, Teppo. By that point, I think everyone's going to be in 1s and 2s, maybe. Well, I'm certainly going to be in 1s. What's the weather like up there, John? At least we got a feather. Oh, that's going to help. So I'm in 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd. So basically this is the front of the race. Everyone... It's kind of coming back though, isn't he? I mean, 38 seconds. He's not a mile off. Although he's obviously putting in a big effort to get close. Oh, I know how that feels, John. It's been like that here for sure. Oh, bit of rest. I'm gonna need a lot of motivation to get up this next climb. The second time up the mountain, I mean. In all honesty, I probably need a head start if I'm gonna have a chance of staying in the group. And whether or not I try and slip away, I mean, super tricky because by attacking before the climb, you give yourself a chance of getting caught on the climb, but being in a more select group that have to work harder to get to you, and then you might end up in a higher position. If you stay in this group as the weaker climber, maybe, then you get dropped up the climb potentially, and then you have a lower finishing position. So the trouble is, because of my history in cycling, I don't think they'll let me go away. So even if I'm not going to survive, you reckon, Teppo? You reckon? So, interesting. Oh, this is harder than I thought. Oh. Do I rate the Ultra Human Ring? I gotta say, I do. I mean, they did gift it to me. But as someone who's never used really, like, religiously anyway, I've used it here and there, but I've never used the type of metrics they can track religiously before. I do find that it is providing me useful information, particularly when I got ill a couple of weeks ago. I was able to see when everything had realigned and recovered after I got ill. So that guided me as to when I should be getting back on the bike. Obviously, it doesn't replace how you feel. I have to stress that massively because, you know, I've survived the last 15 years without the tech, and I would say I've been pretty decent at judging my own fatigue, freshness, whatever, you know, readiness. I don't think you can ever replace, just like you can never replace how you feel, you know. But I think for sure it's making me think about things like my sleep hygiene, and the only thing I would say it doesn't do very well is your heart rate during activity. So if I was wearing it now, it would think my heart rate is like 100 rather than like what it actually is. So it's not totally accurate. It is when it comes to resting heart rate, but not when you're exercising. Okay, here we go then. Climbing coming. Gonna need some serious motivation from chat up here. Last time up I was really starting to succumb to the effort, and yeah. Thank you, Patrick. Well, that didn't work. I ain't bluffing. Remember, I'm 2 kilos heavier as well. So my numbers are okay, but watts per kilo, no. Oh. Yeah, sorry. Zwift don't need to know that. Yeah, they do. Because I'm not 60 kilos all year. Oh, my legs. Yeah, way too deep on the first climb. Couldn't repeat it, and unlike yesterday, because the race was longer yesterday, it was important that I paced it because there was 4 climbs, whereas today there's only 2, so it's better to commit and then not survive potentially. I'm just gonna turn the graph blue now. Oh. Oh, blue feels easy now. Yeah. Steady away. Totally correct, John. Gotta know when you're beaten. Yeah. What up, Paul? Good job. Oh. The reason why I'm turning the graph blue now and grey is because I plan to do another event after this, and it would have all depended on how this would have gone. So obviously the first climb, about 10-15 minutes or so, was obviously extremely hard for me, so I put myself over the limit, pushed myself, lots of heavy breathing, and then trying to clear that lactate on the descent and on the flat roads. And doing this climb, I wasn't able to get into a rhythm like I was on that first climb of repeatability, so instead it's calling it there. I'm not going to dig myself any deeper because, quite simply, of consistency. I want to be able to do another event after this and not be, extremely sore from this first event. Of course, if things had been different in this event, so say for argument's sake that first climb wasn't as hard as it turned out to be, and this climb was harder but not so hard that I get tailed off at the bottom, but maybe halfway up or 3/4 of the way up, I would have kept going with the effort and finished it off and then chosen a different event afterwards. But as it happens, as it's played out, I'm not going to flog a dead horse, if that is the term, and I want to be consistent. I love that quote, consistently good versus occasionally great. That's such a good quote to live by, I think, when it comes to cycling. It's certainly one that I can resonate with. virtually on a daily basis. Hey Volker. The other race I plan to do is a time trial at I think in an hour's time. But I would ride it not a threshold, but around 90% of FTP or just below. So I wouldn't effectively ride it as hard as I would if I was obviously fully fresh. And how long before I hit that level of form? What, the 6.5 watts per kilo? Yeah, to be honest, I don't know, John. I've got a lot of commitments coming up over the next month. It's going to be really difficult to string any sort of consistent progressive training in, and I don't think I'll hit that for a while. The Zwift games in March, I've just got there as a bit of a motivation, but there's no way I'm going to be competitive in it because my training is going to be far too inconsistent. I've got to go to Lithuania for 10 days at the end of this month, and then when I come back I'm home for like a week or so. Then I'm going to Tenerife for a couple of days training, but I think Tenerife's going to be a bit of a struggle because I'll have 10 days away from cycling unless I can find some way of training. So far in Lithuania I've had zero sort of connections, or I've not been able to get any sort of answers if there's a way of me going to a gym and getting on a watt bike or something. So everything's come to a bit of a dead end. A worst case scenario is I can't ride my bike for 10 days, and obviously I've just been ill, so it's playing on my mind quite a bit, but that's going to be quite difficult. Like, where am I going to be? Is it Kaunas? Hey, get on it, Apple. Thank you, Volker. Long shot, but is anybody from Lithuania? Oh, recovering well, Rob. Of course I'm recovering well, yeah. It's my job. No, the thing is, I'm not conditioned to doing it back to back. So what we call this training density. So obviously stacking workouts like this or stacking races is a big like struggle if you haven't done it for a while, or so. Oh, you're from Lithuania. The thing is, I have managed. I even reached out to who's the pro rides for Prioritises. I even had a message from him. I reached out to him, and he said he doesn't have a clue about gyms. I don't think you can ride there because of the snow and the ice. Yeah, the safest option is to be indoors. Ideally I need to find a gym so I could do strength training, and I can also do some short sessions on a bike to keep me going for 10 days. So I just need to find out if there's any gyms. Like with a watt bike would be a great start. If they don't do watt bikes, I'll need just some kind of bike, but it seems like, well, I don't think it's as common, I don't know. I appreciate the help anyway. Ah, thank you, Henny. Takes my mind off my riding currently. Thank you. Remember, if you like the channel, if you want to support the channel, you can just share it with your friends, or wonder if we'll hit 30,000 subscribers this year. It's a slow and steady growth, but a growth nonetheless. Keep plugging away with my cycling on the channel. I don't know yet now. Might log on later today. I'll see. Nah, cheers now, but if I'm gonna ride I need to do intensity and not volume. What's everybody else doing today then? Chat, what are you up to? On the bike or not on the bike? I thought you were doing endurance now. Ah, cyclocross. Yes. Yeah, I've still got a bunch of stuff I need to do carried over from yesterday. Interest rates, checkup, and else have I got to do? I washed the bike yesterday. Might wash the road bike today. Washed the gravel bike yesterday. Road bike today. Because of the salt off the road is ruining it. And what else is there? Emails. I got to respond to a couple of events. Which would be cool. I'm actually going to be an ambassador for an event this year. Something might be happening with Haute Route. Haute Route Alps, that is, maybe. I've got to start formulating some form of advertisement or something for a couple of events I'm going to be organising this year. So there's a load of stuff on my to-do list. That's alongside my #day job of coaching. So and before long I'll have to employ somebody, I think. Charlie said if I can match her wage, she'll come and work for me, but yeah, that won't ever happen. Would be cool though if Charlie could have maximum flexibility and come with me on trips, and yeah, that'll be the dream. Oh, Pop spoke yesterday. Bummer. Oh, nice, Derek. That sounds nice. Cheers, Thomas. I've seen a couple, yeah. I was kind of hoping that there would be, I don't know, maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. Maybe I need to contact like a sports science lab there or something, or like a university that has a watt bike. I don't know. I'm like, the thing is, it's riding my bike is obviously, like, if I don't do that for 10 days, that's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's gonna ruin like quite a few things. Like, obviously a lot of what I do depends on me riding my bike. If I can't ride my bike for 10 days, that's pretty disastrous. So I'm not desperate yet, but I'm getting there. Yeah, you said no. What's out in Germany? What's happening? Ah. We got a friend who when she was younger she was moving around a lot with the family who were in the military. So I can appreciate that. Yeah, I feel it. What else have I got to do today? Oh, I got to finish my budget for January, well then February. Just make sure things are on track for January, and then I can do what I want to do, what I have planned for February. But oh, Volker, have you saved my trip? Ah, I'm looking at the second post on there. I mean, stretching on a watt bike like that is probably not what I'll be doing, but Oh, 3k away. Oh my word. What? No. Volker, thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna try and I'll try and chase that up, so thank you. Wow, look, if we weren't live streaming this morning, Volker didn't jump in, and it's funny how the universe aligns like that, right? Hey Purple Cow, haven't seen your name around for a while. Hey Ed, how often do you do 40-20s in your training? Not very. I haven't done them for about 3 months. To be honest though, if you want to slip them in, I was talking about sprints yesterday. I think you can definitely slip them in as part of a warm up. Hey, thank you, Volker. Have a good run. You can slip them into a warm up and do, like 5 reps. I mean, it depends what you want from them. Depends what you want from 40-20s. Like, if you do like a longer block of them, so if you say do like a 15-minute, 10-minute block, you're probably looking at more how that will improve your lactate threshold, your ability to clear lactate. But obviously the shorter you go, so if you're only doing a couple of short repeats, or maybe just 5 minutes, so 5 reps at 40-20s, then it would be a less controlled power output. You would just be smashing it. There's some good help on YouTube, but if you're talking about budgeting and pension planning and working on saving plans, is something short term and long term. 100%, Derek. Particularly as I'm self-employed. And did you know that over 80% of people in the UK who are self-employed do not have a private pension? Did you know that? Oh, you even called them. Thank you. I've just been sent actually one on Instagram. So it might be the same place. But I appreciate it, thank you. Even if I have to pay for a day pass. As you said there, Tony. I mean, I know there's people in a situation where they work away a lot, away on business trips or something, and they need to find a gym with a bike or something like that. So yeah, it's kind of important. It's 80% level. What do you mean? No worries, Purple Car. No worries. Yeah, that'll be a good shout out to me, wouldn't it? Imagine if, you'd have to reach out to every gym in the world. to find out if they've got a watt bike. I didn't know, although I can catch you on repeat, can't I? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can use the community to do it. It's just getting people aware of it, isn't it? I mean, I'm actually working on a website with somebody, and the website is called Cycling Spots. So I suppose you can include gyms in that. I'm sort of overseeing Wales, which is obviously a massive country in itself, and we're trying to get all the best cycling spots in Wales on this interactive map. So it could be, could be gyms, could be climbs, could be cafes, bike shops. So if any of you ever want to come to Wales, you could hit me up and say, where's the best place to go and ride in this area, and I can come and ride with you and stuff. And but also there's stuff on there so that you can just go and do it yourself. Like, the struggle isn't in Wales. Yeah, have a good one, Esme. Have a good one. Thanks for joining. Yeah. A tumble. It's better climbs than a tumble. That's the thing. It's about bringing together local knowledge. So obviously to me, the tumble is not that great of a climb, and yet to everybody, I guess, who lives outside of Wales potentially, then the tumble's the only one most people know in South Wales, mainly because it's easy to pronounce. But yeah, definitely, Derek. Yeah, cycle paths. Those are all POIs, points of interest. So yeah, I just gotta spend some time on it. That's another job I gotta do. Would anyone like to become my assistant? I'm not complaining, not complaining. I mean, the good news is the stress of worrying about, my cycling this year, like, that's all I have to do is I just have to train, I just have to, be in good shape and do the things I want to do on my bike. And the good news is that, Factor is still supporting, or Veresvel, I apologise, are still supporting with Factor bikes. God, look at that. Hour 13. They're still supporting Banner Climbers as well. We've got a couple of new partnerships. We've got some affiliates as well, but all the main ones that are needed for me to be able to ride my bike are still there. So that's the important thing. And also, they're very happy with what I do. I've got to put out a couple of Instagram posts shouting them out over the next couple of weeks and saying how who is going to be on board this year and what's going to be happening. I still think it's a bit unclear, or maybe people assume assume things when it comes to when you get given product and whatnot, like, but it's always important to recognize. But yeah, we're all back on board, so I'm obviously doing something right, and I also wouldn't be in this position without people watching or people being interested. So, you know, if I was, well, I'm actually very grateful I'm able to do what I'm doing on when you compare it to say other content creators. You know, I still don't specifically call myself a content creator. I do create content, of course, but in terms of that side of things, it's always secondary to my actual cycling. The cycling comes first, and then the content comes from that, whereas I don't do content necessarily and then cycle around that. It's not my livelihood, so to speak. But saying that, it's obviously still important for me to be able to do what I do. And I forgot what I was saying before that bit. But oh yeah, there's YouTube channels, you know, with far bigger numbers. You know, both subscribers and views. But I guess the thing that keeps coming back, the thing that keeps being said, or things that are passed on to me from the people I work with, is that it seems that the community or the people that subscribe to this channel are, someone said it the other day, Ian said it the other day, I think it was, how the people who really follow along on this channel are people that are pure cyclists almost. I'm paraphrasing massively, but you know, I probably don't have any people that watch this channel that don't ride a bike. I think most of you ride bikes, but also the community is very united. You've only got to look at like some of the videos that I've done. You know, they're not very common, but the big challenges videos, what's that message you just sent? Okay, I'm just rambling now. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.